myself, but I think I can. Okay. Yes. So first of all, thank you very much for attending the session today. I think that that session is very interesting for everyone, as due to the situation that we're living those days, it's going to be important and interesting for you that you are non-EU students, so to know how to apply from Spain for your student permit. So we, since a few years ago, we've been collaborating with AGM Abogados and with María Eugenia, that she's an expert in immigration areas and student and work permits in Spain. So we thought this session was going to be very interesting for you, as we've been collecting different questions from you regarding that subject due to the situation, the COVID situation we're living. So thank you very much, María Eugenia. For us, it's a pleasure to have you here and that you could put some light to that situation that we're living at the moment. And we're going to leave the questions for the end of the session. Is that right?
Yeah, please.
Okay, perfect. So any questions that you may have, we leave it at the end of the session. The webinar is being recorded, so you will get the recorded version the next few days. Okay, so thank you very much, and let's gonna start. We might have people entering in the webinar, but don't worry, you keep and continue with the session. Okay, thank you, María Eugenia.
Thank you, Viviana. Thank you, everybody, to be here. For being here. As Viviana said, we will do the questions at the end. You have a way to ask. It says ask or questions in your options. So this is the better way, better than the chat way. We prefer the questions there. So we will talk today about how to apply for the student permit from Spain. As you already know, you can apply for this student's visa in the consulate of Spain in your countries, but with the actual situation with the COVID-19, most of the Spanish consulates are still closed, so it could be difficult to apply from them. That's why we are talking about today how to apply once you are in Spain. So first, we will, First, we will see how to enter in Spain, because if we need to apply from here, of course, you need to be here. We cannot start the procedure while you are still in your countries. You need to be here to start the procedure. After that, we will see the requirements that we need to apply from Spain, who more or less are the same requirements that you need in a consulate, but there are some specific points that in Spain they control in another way. So we will see how to apply from here. Then we will see the procedure and how to do it. And I added another point, which is traveling during the process, because once you are here and the process could take some time, sometimes maybe you will need to travel and you need to have some information about that and the time you will need to wait before traveling or other questions. Here you can see the way a student's card look is different from the visa. When you apply from a Spanish consulate, first you get a visa in your passport, and once you arrive to Spain, you get this card. With this new procedure doing here, when we do it here in Spain, we don't have a visa and we only will have this card. So first thing is how we enter in Spain, what we must do to enter in Spain. You will enter as a tourist because you have two options, entering as a tourist or entering as a student. If you enter as a student, it's because you have already asked in the Spanish consulate for the student's visa and you enter with this visa. But if the point is that the consulate doesn't work to do these visas, or maybe it's too late when they open to wait the time they need to process a student's visa, and it's faster to get a tourist visa, then we go with this for this side. There are two options. Maybe you are from countries that you need a visa to enter in Schengen, the Schengen area, which is the most part of the countries in Europe, including Spain. Then you will need to apply in the Spanish consulate in the country of your residence. If you are now in another country where you don't have a resident permit there, you are only staying there as a tourist, you won't be able to apply for a tourist visa for Spain from that country. So you will need to come back to your the country where are you citizens, or in the country where you have a resident permit. And there, go to the Spanish consulate and ask for that visa. But maybe you don't need a visa. Maybe you are from one of those countries. We have here the list. If you are from one of those countries, you have the passport from one of these countries, you don't need a visa to enter in Spain. But that doesn't mean you don't need to prove the requirements for a tourist. You will also need to prove these requirements because you can be asked for them in the border in the moment you enter in Spain, in the airport. So we will see the requirements for both situations. And if you are not in this list, your country is not in this list, that means that you will need to ask for a tourist visa anyway, or if you already have a tourist visa for Schengen, which with multi-entries, and this visa is still valid, you will be able to enter. So what do we need to enter in Spain as a tourist? And if you go to the consulate to ask for the visa, or if you are entering the border anyway, you will need a flight ticket back. You are entering as a tourist, so you are not entering as a student. If you are entering as a student and the course is for 10 months, you don't need a flight ticket back. But as you are entering as a tourist, suppose you only can be in Spain for maximum 90 days. That's why we need to show a flight ticket back in less than 3 months from the moment we end of the entry. If you don't want to come back in that moment to your country, or if you don't know if you will be able to come back or whatever, it's better to make a reservation with possibility of cancellation or change the dates. Even it's a bit more expensive sometimes, it's better if you do that, because in the consulate, of course, they will ask for you for a flight ticket back, because entering as a tourist, you need to show when will you come back. And if they ask you in the border, not always they ask for these requirements in the border. Sometimes they only check your passport, stamp the passport, and say enter. But if they ask for it, you will need to show that flight ticket back, because if not, it's like you will stay in Spain, and you cannot stay in Spain more than 3 months if you enter as a tourist. Apart from that flight ticket back, we need to prove economic resources. These economic resources will be 95 euros per day. It's 10% of the minimum salary in Spain, and the minimum salary now in Spain is 950 euros. So this 10% is 95 euros per day. If you are entering with a visa for 60 days, so it's 95 euros per 60 days that you need to prove. How do you prove it? You can prove it with a credit card, with a certificate from the bank saying which is the limit of this credit card. You also can have cash. The maximum amount you can enter in Europe with cash is 10,000 euros. You cannot enter with more than 10,000 euros in cash, because you will have a penalty. But the amount for 3 months, it's not here. Will be more, because it will be 8,550 euros. So it's enough if you are entering with this money. Or if you are presenting in the consulate with a bank account under your name with this amount, or other ways with the incomes of your parents or your family, the person who is paying for you. But as a tourist, that could be a problem, because if you don't have the money yourself, they could consider that you cannot enter as a tourist because you don't have the money to be a tourist here. So it's better if you have an account under your name, an account in your country with this money. You will also need a travel health insurance. In that moment, to enter as a tourist, you will need the health insurance could be a travel one. We will see later that the health insurance we need to apply as a student. So we can do directly the one we need as a student and use it to enter as a tourist. But we will see the details later. You will also need to prove an accommodation. You will need to prove that where will you stay here in Spain once you arrive as a tourist. If it's an hotel, a hostel, an apartment reservation, something to prove that you have somewhere to go once you are in Spain. You can also have the admission letter from EADA. Suppose you are entering as a tourist, but it's a middle situation because they understand the actual situation. Maybe, sorry, maybe it was impossible to apply for the visa, the student's visa, and so you are entering as a tourist, but with the intention to apply for the student permit once in Spain. So this admission letter will prove the reason why you are coming to Spain. You will also need your passport, a valid passport, for the whole time you will be here. And depending on the consulate, if you are applying in a consulate, you will be required for other documents, maybe the ID card of your country, or in China, the CO, or other countries, other kind of documents. There are also forms and taxes to pay in the consulate, but about that, it's better if we talk with you individually to see the documents they need in the consulate. They ask in the consulate because it could be very different from one country or other, but it's a small requirements, these ones. The important ones is the flight ticket back in less than 3 months, the economic resources, the travel health insurance, the accommodation, passport, and the reason that, why you are coming, and this reason could be the admission letter of EADA. So once you enter in Spain, we can apply for this student permit. We will need other documents. Here we have the requirements to apply from Spain for the student permit. The first thing you need to know is that the requirements here in Spain sometimes are a bit different, or not more difficult, but different from the ones you will be asked in the consulate. About the economic resources and the private health insurance. These 2 points could be something different. So if you know somebody that came last year and they asked for the visa and they use some economic resources that now I will explain it different, is because we are now talking about how to apply from Spain. And the administration offices for foreigners here in Spain, in Barcelona, for you, which because you will come here to Barcelona, could be a bit tough or a bit different in these issues. You will need the passport too. Once you are here, the form we will prepare if you want to do the procedure with us, or we will see later the form. And a tax. The administrative tax to apply for the student permit is 17 euros with 15 cents. We will also add the admission letter from EADA that they will prepare to you, or you also have it. If not, they will send it to you. You need to bring with you your criminal record from your country of origin. The criminal record, this criminal record needs to be apostille or legalized, depending from which country are you from. There are countries which have an agreement in the world, which is the agreement, el convenio de la Haya, and if your country is in this agreement, you will only need a stamp, which is apostille, the apostille or apostilla de la Haya. But if you are not from one of these countries, you will need more stamps. You will need the stamp of the authority which prepares the criminal record, the stamp from the Foreigners Ministry, Foreigners Affairs Ministry in your country, from your country, and then the stamp from the Spanish consulate in your country. They need to put another stamp in this document. And then we will need a short translation of the document. There's a list of translators here in Spain, which are authorized by the government to do these translations, and we need the translations done by one of those people. The document needs to be issued less than 3 months before we apply. So first you need to know when will you enter, and then prepare the document, because if you prepare the document now but you don't enter until September, the document will be expired. And the short translation, as I said, is better if we do it here in Spain, because sometimes to contact with these translators are here in Spain, not in your countries. So you can have the document with the apostille or with the stamps, the legalize it, and when you arrive to Spain, we do the short translation. We also will need you to bring a medical certificate. It's an option, you can bring it with you, but you can do it here in Spain. My recommendation is that this medical certificate is better to do it here, because it will be cheaper and faster. Cheaper because if we do it here in Spain, in the Medical Bar Association, it's free. Sorry, it's not free, but it's like 30 euros, something like that. It's very cheap. And we don't need to translate it, we don't need to legalize it or apostille. If you do the medical certificate in your country, you will need to legalize or apostille, and then we will need the translation. And it's also only valid for 3 months. So we will have this document from one day to another if we do it in Spain. You can arrive, prepare the other documents, and do this medical certificate here quite fast. So prepare the criminal record, but don't worry about the medical certificate. About the economic resources, how much do you need to prove that you have to apply for the student's permit? The amount is different from the tourist one. I said that to enter as a tourist, you need to prove 95 euros per day. But to be a student here, you need to prove 550 euros per month. If you are entering with family, it's different. You will need to prove more incomes, but the family members in the law is, we don't have a procedure to apply for them from here. So it's better if you come alone, and later your family, your wife, husband, or children under 18, they can apply for a visa from the Spanish consulate, but not enter everybody as a tourist here, because for the family members in the law there's not an option to apply from Spain, only for the student, because it's supposed it's an exceptional situation for those situations, so those issues that it's not possible to get the visa before the beginning of the studies. So they allow you to enter and apply from here to be able to start the classes. So for the family members, it's different. But you need to consider these amounts if you won't need to from them to come later, because you will need to prove more incomes for them. How to prove these incomes? Well, here in Spain, they are more tough with that, and the best option is to have a Spanish bank account. You can arrive to Spain, go to a bank with your admission letter, with your passport, and ask to open a bank account here in Spain. It's not very difficult, it's possible to do it. You can open a bank account with your passport, and we can help you with that too if you need it. Sometimes the banks need to prove the way why you have this money, because well, you can bring tax declaration of your family, or your bank certificate from your country, or if you are working your job contract, or your tax declarations if you have them. Some documents to prove why you have money. That could be useful also in the future if you need to receive more money from your country. If not, sometimes only with the passport and the admission letter, they open the bank account, and then you can receive the money transfer from your country of the amount that we need. For 1 year, it's more or less 6,800 euros, with this amount will be enough to get the student's permit. As I said, this is an exceptional way to do the tourist permit. And that's why the foreigners offices, the administration here in Spain is different from the consulates, and they want the bank account in Spain. Under the law, it's possible also to do it with a foreign bank account, but then we need that the amount in the certificate needs to be in euros. We need also the certificate saying how do you get this, how can you use this money in Spain if you will have a credit card, the way you get the money in Spain, not only that the money is in your country, you need to prove how will you get this money once you are in Spain. If you have a card and you can use any ATM here, or how. So sometimes it's difficult to have this information from your bank in your country, and sometimes it's difficult to have the amount in euros, and then we need a change rate certificate and other documents, and we will need to translate with a short translator all the documents from your country. So under our experience last year, we did some people with these documents from their country, and we had some problems because the bank in their country couldn't or weren't able to put the amount in euros, or cannot certificate how they use the money in Spain. So if it's possible for you, it's better to arrive and open the bank account and receive the money transfer, or if you have it in cash, enter the money in the bank. It's possible also to do it with your family resources, not with a bank account under your name in Spain or in your country, with the family resources of your parents or from a brother or sister. But then we need a notarized letter from your done in your country for this from this family member, with the monthly amount they will transfer to you, the period for the whole year, or until August, until November next year, whatever, and the way, again, you will get this money in Spain, how they will transfer it to your bank account in Spain. But if you still don't have a bank account in Spain, could be a problem with this certificate. Or if you will use a credit card in Spain that has this possibility, the way you use it. This document, this notarized letter, need to be also apostilled or legalized and translated by a short translator. And we will also need, apart from the letter or the declaration of your parents, a bank account or some documents to prove that they have incomes to live themselves and to send to you this 550 euros per month. So as you will see again, the easiest way is to have the Spanish bank account, open the bank account, and have the money, because it's less paperwork. The last way to prove the incomes is if you have a scholarship with this monthly amount again, this 550 euros minimum per month. And in the document of the scholarship, we will also need to have the amount, the period, and the way you will get the money in Spain. The document also needs to be apostilled or legalized, and the translation with a short translator. All the translations, we can do it here once you are in Spain, as I said before. But I insist that if it's possible, the best way is to open a Spanish bank account and have the money, the whole amount, here in the account. With this, we won't have any problem, for sure. With the other documents, we will need to prepare them correctly, and we need the apostilles, the translations, and everything. That's about the economic resources. And the last point is the private health insurance. Here, it's not possible to get the student's permit. It's not possible to have a travel health insurance, as I said before. To enter as a tourist. To enter as a tourist, you are entering as a tourist, so you will be here only for a short period of time, and you are traveling, so it's normal that you only need a travel health insurance. But to apply as a student, you will need a private health insurance with a company here in Spain with full coverage. If it's a company in your country, we need to prove that the coverage in Spain is complete. It's full coverage in Spain without limitations of time, because sometimes even you have a health insurance in your country and you can use it here in Spain. When you read it, when you read all the conditions, it says only for 90 days, for instance, as a tourist. So that's not valid to apply as a student. Here we have good health insurance, not very expensive compared with other countries. So you are young, you are healthy. So maybe with for 40, 50 euros per month, you have a very good health insurance, or others less known or less important, but with maybe for 200 euros per year. So it's possible to do it here, and sometimes could be even cheaper than if you do it from your country. If you want budgets or if you want information about the amount, we can even do it before you arrive. And if you are entering as a tourist, you can already have the private health insurance here in Spain done, and you enter as a tourist with the same one. It's full coverage, or there's an option that if it's a limitation, this limitation needs to be up of 100,000 euros per year. Less coverage is not possible. And it's not possible co-payments. The co-payments is every time you go to the doctor, you need to pay maybe a small amount, even it's 2 euros, 5 euros per visit. No, it's not possible. The coverage needs to be full. That's the private health insurance one. And with the requirements, we apply. But we have a very important thing that you need to consider when you apply for the visa, or when if you already have a visa and you are entering with this one. We need minimum 30 days, more than 30 days before the expiration of your tourist period to apply. So that means if you are entering without a visa, because you are from a country that doesn't need a visa, the maximum time you enter is 90 days. So before the day 60 arrives, we need to apply. We cannot apply the day 62 or 60 or 61. We need to apply the day 59. That's the deadline to apply for the tourist, for the student permit, being here as a tourist. The same way, if you enter us with a tourist visa, because you are from a country that you need a visa, Schengen visa to enter, and you apply for a visa only for 1 month, when you arrive, you won't be able to apply for a student permit. Or we need first to ask for extension of this tourist permit to apply them for the student one. So minimum enter with a visa for 2 months, because we have 1 month or 29 days to prepare everything, to do the translations, to do the medical certificate, to open the bank account, and to prepare the documents, and then we apply. If we have everything ready the day you arrive, we apply next day. It's not a problem. But we need minimum this 30 days left as a tourist to start the procedure. If you enter if you already have a visa, and this visa is for 1 year with multiple entries during this year, but you already have been here for 60 days in the last 6 months, and you enter with the same visa, you will have less than 30 days left. Even the visa is still valid for 4 months more, because even you have a visa for 1 year, the maximum time you can be in Spain as a tourist is 90 days in 6 months. Okay? Later in the questions, I can explain a bit more about that if you don't understand me. So the point is, imagine you have a visa for 1 year. Even you have a visa for 1 year, the maximum time you can be in Spain is 90 days in 6 months, and 90 days the next 6 months. So if you already have been here and you enter with the same visa, we need more than 30 days left of this 90, okay? So we start the procedure having more than 30 days left as a tourist. This is very important, more than 30, so it's 31, day 31 left. It's an online application, but this online application needs to be done with a digital certificate, and ask for a digital certificate for you with a passport. It's impossible. It's very difficult and maybe impossible to get it. So we have a digital certificate, and we can apply on your behalf if you want. There's no option to apply without digital certificate. There's no, in the law, the way to apply for it without digital certificate. Before the COVID, you can go to a public register and do the online application from there. But now with the COVID situation, all the registers are closed. We don't know when they will open, in which conditions, if you will need an appointment, and these appointments will be very hard to get for sure. So we recommend to look for someone who has a digital certificate and was able to apply on your behalf with an authorization. Of course, we can do it, and we have special prices for EADA students, and we will inform you about that. And it's very important to do the procedure correctly with all the documents and all the requirements. We'll talk later what happens if we don't do it correctly. In 1 month minimum, could be less, but some used to be more. And this year, I think it will be more because there will be more applications. All of you are having this information, but many people in the world, the students who needs to come this year will be more of them asking for the permit here than last year. So maybe it takes more than 1 month. The law says 1 month, but it could take 2 months, 3 months, even more. In Madrid, not in Barcelona, we are lucky, but in Madrid, last year, already took more than 6 months sometimes to get the student permit for the first time. So we hope here in Barcelona we maintain this month and a half time we have now, but we prepare to have more time waiting, and that doesn't mean you will have a rejection. Maybe they answer you in 3-4 months and they grant you the permit. That doesn't mean anything, but you need to know that it could be possible that you need to wait more time. That's why it's important to do everything correctly from the beginning. So once we have the answer, or while we are waiting for the answer, we can do the empadronamiento. The empadronamiento is to register yourself in the city hall of the place you live here in Barcelona, or if it's close to Barcelona in another city. You go there, you will need or a rental contract under your name or an authorization from the person who has the rental contract or the property of the apartment. So you go to the city hall, and the word here in Spain is empadronamiento, and I still don't find the same word in English or in other languages. It's like a register that you live there in this apartment. We need this empadronamiento because we will be asked for it when we have the approval and we go to the police station to apply for the card. This card we have seen at the beginning. To apply for this green card, which contains your address in Spain, you will need this empadronamiento to apply for it. And after 4 weeks, after going to the police station, you will come back to the police station and you will pick up your card. This card will be valid until the end of the studies. Your case, suppose I think it's end of November, or maybe they give you until August and then we need to renew. But the idea is they give already the permit until the end of November, which is the time that you will be registered in the school. This here you can see the form that we need to fill, but as it's an online application, we will prepare everything if we do it on your behalf. If not, this is the form. It's your personal data, your address, and more or less that's all. It's not very difficult to fill in. I was saying that it's important to do it correctly, because if you enter as a tourist for 90 days, we apply day 50 as a tourist, and then we wait 2 months to have an answer, and after 2 months they say no because maybe you don't you don't give them the correct documents, maybe you did wrongly the medical certificate, or the proofs of your incomes were not enough with the requirements, because they won't tell you when you apply. You apply with the documents you have, they get them, and then they analyze them when it's your turn. And if in that moment it's not correct and they deny the permit, they reject the permit, in that moment you won't be you won't have more days as a tourist. Your tourist period end and you don't have more time. So suppose you are in a regular situation here in Spain and you will need to come back to your country. So if we do it correctly, they will give you the permit. It's not a problem. But that's why we are doing this today, to explain you all the requirements, and that's why we recommend to have some advice, more advice specific in your situation, to be sure that everything is correct before applying. Because once we apply, they could ask for more documents if they see there's something left, but sometimes they don't do it. They only reject the permit and that's all. Okay? So please have all the information, and maybe if you don't want to hire us to apply, maybe we can have only a consultation with it's a reduced fee for EADA students to analyze your personal situation and to inform you which exact documents you will need to apply. Okay. And the last point, because I want to go to questions, because I'm sure you will have a lot of questions, is what happens if you need to travel during the process. Because as I said, imagine you arrive for 90 days. We wait 1 month until we can apply because you are preparing the documents. It takes 2 months to have an answer. Okay, it's still 3 months. But then we go to a police station, we apply for the card, and we need to wait 1 month more to have the card. So if you need to travel in any moment until you have the student's card valid in your hand, there's 2 options. If you need to travel inside Schengen, you only will be able to travel while your visa is valid. Once your visa is expired and you don't have the student card, it's supposed you cannot travel around Europe, because you need a valid card or a valid visa to enter in the other countries. There are no borders inside the Schengen area, but for those people who has a valid student permit or a valid resident permit in one of the countries. So until the moment you don't have this valid card, the country can say no to your entry, or sometimes it's even the flight company who says, no, you cannot fly because I'm not sure that Germany or Italy or France will allow you to enter in the country because your tourist visa is expired and you still don't have the card. Okay, so consider this if you are preparing trips in Europe. Consider this. And out of Schengen, if you want to come back in Christmas to your country, and in that moment you still don't have the card, okay, you can travel. If we have already the permit granted, we need first the permit granted, or if the visa is still valid, but if you enter in September, in December will be expired. So if you have the permit granted, we have stamped fingerprints, but we are in the month until the moment we can pick up the car. In that moment you can travel, but you will need a return authorization. It's a return permit to enter again in Spain without having the student card. This is the photo of this permit, the autorización de regreso. It's a permit that allows you to enter in Spain from outside of Schengen. So this document is not valid to travel around Europe because it's only a permit to enter in Spain from outside of Schengen when you don't have still the card, okay? So it's important to prepare correctly all the documents, to bring them from your country, the ones you need valid, to go fast at the beginning to open the bank account. We do this, and I recommend this. And to apply as soon as possible, not wait until the day 59. Apply, if we can apply the day 10, that will be great. We apply, because then we will have a fast answer. We will be able to apply for the card in the police station faster, and we will have the card faster. If not, if we wait, Christmas will arrive, and if the COVID-19 situation allows us to travel and you want to visit your country, maybe it's not possible, or maybe we cannot get the appointment for do this regress authorization, or maybe, well, it's true that now with the situation we have, maybe the borders are closed and we can either travel, no? But you need to consider this and be prepared to do everything fast if you want to travel in Christmas, okay? I think that's all. I will go now for the questions. I have seen.
Sorry, María Eugenia.
Yeah.
So I would like to thank you very much for the for all the instructions and the documents. Let me put my camera. Yes. I have to send a message to all the students. Just, I mean, it's precious. It's very interesting and very important to know that we have a group of lawyers that can support us and can help us to do all these processes. When you come to Barcelona, you come to another country, another culture. That's part of the growing experience, as we say in the masters, but it's not funny to go through all the bureaucracy, because it's also boring for us as a citizens. So having the possibility and having the chance to have or to be together with a lawyer that helps you and that guides you and that gives you exactly the tips and the documents you need to provide is priceless, okay? In terms of time, in terms of dedication, and in terms of doing things right from the beginning. Because at the beginning you get here and you think, yeah, I'll be able to do that. I mean, I'm an easygoing person. I speak a little bit of Spanish, so I might get it right. But if you don't get it right and you are not in the timing, then is when problems arise, and then lawyers cannot do magic things.
No,
okay?
No, that's it.
So we're doing that in advance for you to prepare all the documents, to be able to come to Spain with a tourist visa and to help you as much as possible. But we will not be able to help you and when things can be helped. You know what I mean? So take that, all that information. María Eugenia is gonna answer all your questions. She's dedicating all that time, but believe me, I'm sure she's gonna be happy to help you when they can help you. But when you come, when things cannot be done, it's difficult. So take your time, take the possibility of having all the documents, come to EADA, come to Barcelona, contact them and get their guidance for your security, for your experience of enjoying the city from another point of view, not going through the bureaucracy. Okay, so that's my piece of advice. And I know they follow my advice, María Eugenia, quite a lot.
Yeah,
so
I'm not here to sell my services. That's not the point.
No.
Because we have a lot of experience with EADA, and I have answered a lot of questions from many students. We do this when the students needs to renew, and we do it for free. That's not the point. But we know under our experience that, as Viviana said, sometimes you arrive and you think, okay, you check in the internet and it seems easy. You go there, you bring 4 or 5 documents, the administration won't tell you if they are correct or not, as I said. Or maybe even they say, okay, it's enough, it's correct. And then it isn't. So when the things are done, it's more difficult and sometimes impossible to come back to the beginning and correct those mistakes. So we have very special prices for EADA, and we will inform you by mail if you ask us. And when you are preparing all what I'm sure you are preparing to come here to study, that won't mean anything in the budget you will need to come to study. So
okay, so thank you very much. So let's gonna continue with this questions and okay, I close my mouth, no more.
No more, Viviana. Later with this student permit, we will enter to Spain with showing. Okay, yeah. Once you have the card, Amira asks if once you have the permit, once you have the student card, if you can enter in Spain again without having anything in the passport. Yes, when you have a student visa, when you apply for the student visa in the consulate, in fact, they only give you a visa for 3 months, maximum for 3 months, to enter in the country and apply for the card. So after these 3 months, you don't have anything in the passport who allows you to enter. So if we do it directly from here, entering as a tourist, we will have the student card, and from that moment, when we need to travel inside Schengen or out of Schengen and entering again in Spain, we only need to show the card. We will show our passport, but also the Spanish student card. And this is the proof that we are students in Spain and we don't need anything in the passport. Okay, I suppose that's answer. Can we apply after the school starts in October, or it needs to be before? Well, I know that, and Viviana, please correct me if I'm wrong, if something happens for you, if you can enter before October when the classes start, you have the option to do the first months online, and we can apply in any moment when you arrive here. So if the borders are closed from your country, the borders are now open here in Spain from the 1st July. Well, not now, but the 1st July will be open. Not for EU, for United States and for Russia for the moment, it seems, but it seems for the other countries they are open. But there are also other, your countries maybe, they don't allow you to exit. It's not that you cannot enter in Spain, they don't allow you to go out. For instance, Argentina, I think they're talking now in July, but I'm not sure, last news were in September. So if you cannot enter before October and you arrive in November, we can also apply in November. But remember that we will need more than 30 days as a tourist to start the application. That's very important.
Maria Eugenia, I think that Angela is asking, I mean, if she comes in end of September and the classes start the 5th of October, she can do the process once the classes have started. So, una vez hayan empezado las clases, ella puede hacer.
We need to apply, and you can wait. You can go on with the classes while we wait for the answer. To go to class, we don't need the approval.
Yes.
Once we apply, even we don't have the answer, you are already legal in Spain, you are regular in Spain until we receive that answer. So even if your tourist permit ends and we don't have the answer in that moment, you are in a regular situation here and you don't need to worry because you can be here waiting for the answer and going to class. Okay, next one is, if I enter as a tourist, the ticket back has to be to my country or it can be to a country out of Schengen territory. Could be to other country outside of Schengen. It doesn't mind if it's to your origin country or to another country. So you can buy a ticket back from Morocco or from UK, which is not Schengen area. All insurance in Mexico have co-payment. So what are my options? That's why I recommend you to we can contract the insurance here in Spain before coming. It's possible to do it. And knowing how much are the insurance in Mexico, I'm sure this option will be better without co-payments. And sometimes even you have the option to have the coverage when you travel again to your country if it's for a small period of time. So when you go holidays there, you will have the coverage from the Spanish one. So we can send you the information.
Yes, I mean, something to add here is that any student from their country of origin can buy an insurance from Spain, so that you can leave your country with already an insurance in Spain. As Maria Eugenia says, it's cheaper than in your countries or in any consulate. So that's an option, and that's the option not only for non-EU but for EU as well. We always tell them to get a private insurance, which is better, and getting the insurance from Spain already. Okay, so that's something you can do from your country, and Maria Eugenia will give you the providers as well. Okay.
Okay, to apply, there's a minimum time we need to spend as a tourist, or if in 1 week we have all the documents ready, we can apply. We don't need to wait a minimum time. If you have everything ready next day you arrive, we apply next day. In my case, I have 1 year Spanish tourist visa, and if my country open the borders, I will travel for Spain in July. Can I start this procedure in July? Yes, if we have everything ready and you are here, we can start the process even on even the classes starts in October. We can start the procedure before because you are already here. They know this takes a bit of time. So yes, if you enter in July, but be sure that you have everything, or when you arrive, we can prepare the bank account, we can prepare other documents, the medical certificate, and maybe it's not July, it's end of July when we apply. But we need to check when this visa ends, and if you will have more than 30 days in the moment we apply of the visa, but not only of the visa, of the time you have been here in the last 6 months. Okay, so if you want to meet up, we can check it with a full copy of your passport to be sure. Juliana, if it's denied, can we apply for a second time? We can make an appellation, but to apply for a second time from Spain, we will need more than 30 days as a tourist. So as I said, if you enter and we apply next day and we'll have the answer when you still have 60 days as a tourist, we can apply again with the correct documents. But if in the moment we have the rejection, you don't have time as a tourist, or you have less than 30 days, then you won't be able to apply. You will need to come back to your country and apply from the consulate. That will be possible. Anna says, what exactly is the medical certificate? Well, the medical certificate is it's not a very important thing. It only talks about if you have any illness which is in a international travel regulation. So it's if you have some sickness, it's not controlled there in this medical certificate. It's only if you have any quarantineable thing that is very specific and registered in international regulations. And you do it with this medical certificate. You can do it here in Spain, as I said, and it's very fast and easy to get, or in your countries. It's now with the COVID, it's supposed it's not included for the moment, and they will need to change all the regulations to include the COVID-19 if they want. But even that is not included in the medical certificate. It's other strange things, but I never seen somebody who could not get this medical certificate because was not with or wasn't or didn't have the requirements. in 18 years. So I'm coming from all the whole world. And if the process takes a lot of time, the date of issue and expiration will change. I mean, for example, I will start my studies in EADA in October. If I get the permit in November, they will mention November as a date of issue. So that means that the period of my residence in Spain, instead of being 9 months, yes. Once you have the permit granted, the time as a student starts to count until the end of the studies. So it will be 8 months and not 9 months. But the time as a student doesn't count for instance, to apply for the citizenship. This time as a student only counts if you are here for 3 years to change your student permit to a work permit if you have a job offer. But now, since the end of 2018, we have other options to apply for work permits or resident permits, even you don't have the 3 years in Spain. Once you end the master or MBA in EADA, you will be able to apply for a job searching visa, which is a resident permit for 1 year, or if you have a job offer, you will be able to apply for a resident permit with this job offer without waiting for 3 years as a student. So it's not very important at this point nowadays. Leonardo, I am from Argentina. Should I translate it to English? No, sorry. The translations is only if the documents are not in Spanish. If the documents are in Spanish, the administration here wants the documents in Spanish, not in English. So you don't need to translate anything. If the documents you bring are in Spanish, it's perfect, it's okay. We only need the apostille. In the case of Argentina, you will need the apostille, la apostilla, and that's all. They are not open to give appointments. The consulate, how should I do the criminal records? The criminal record, you need to apply for it to the authorities in Argentina, not in the Spanish consulate. And I think you can do it telematically. Check it, because I think in Argentina you can get this criminal record in a telematic way, and the apostille is also telematic. You don't need the Spanish consulate for anything. And being from Argentina, you don't need a visa to enter. So you don't need the Spanish consulate. Spanish bank accounts are asking for an NIE. Is it given on a tourist visa as well? No, you won't have the NIE until we have the student permit granted. But sometimes the banks ask for the NIE, but sometimes not, depending on the bank. We work with some offices here, and if we send you to them, they won't ask you for the NIE, because they can open the bank account with the passport. Sometimes if they don't know it, or if you said I'm a student, it's like, okay, then bring me the NIE. But it's possible to open a bank account only with a passport. So the only point is the bank account will be a non-resident bank account, and sometimes the fees for the bank or the expenses in the bank are higher. But once you have the student permit, you can change the situation in the bank. But it's possible to do it with the passport. Juan P. Felipe, hi, hola, muchas gracias. Gracias para ti. If I am from Mexico, all my documents will be in Spanish. Again, no translations from Spanish. It's because the seminar I'm doing it in English. But todos los que tengáis documentos en español, por supuesto, no tienen que traducirse. For the accommodation requirement, if I have family in Spain, how can I manage this accommodation document if I am staying with them? There's another option, which is invitation letter, carta de invitación from your family. But they need to go to the police station and apply for this authorization, for this invitation letter or carta de invitación. So your family needs to go to the police station and say they want to do a carta de invitación. They will give you your details, they will explain about their apartment, and if the police considers they have enough place for you, they will allow them to do this document, and they will send it to you. Carta de invitación. Are you aware of any case of people getting their entry to Spain denied as a result of not having a flight back home? Yes, I know. I know that people have everything and arrives to the border, and in the border they are not asked for anything, and it's like, why you tell me that to bring all these documents? Of course, and I already know about cases that they get stuck in the airport, and they fly back to their country because they are not allowed to enter, because without a flight back ticket there are no guarantees of you will come back once your tourist period ends. One of the main things that can do that the authorities doesn't allow you to enter in Spain is if they consider you will stay in Spain once your tourist time ends. So if you don't have a flight by ticket, it's like saying, I will stay here, because I even don't have a flight ticket to come back home, so I will stay in Spain. So I don't recommend. That's the main point. They will ask you, when will you come back? Do you have the ticket back? Yes, okay, then enter. Maybe they don't ask you for the money or for the accommodation. But the first thing they will ask, if they ask for something, is the flight ticket back. How do we get the digital certificate for the online application? It's as I said, it's almost impossible because you will need a NIE for that. You will need a NIE for that, not for the bank account, but the NIE is the Foreigner's Identification Number, número de identificación de extranjero. And to get it as a tourist, you will need an appointment, a document why you need this NIE, and then you will need to go to another administration to ask for the digital certificate. They will send it to you. You will put it in the computer, and it's very difficult to get a digital certificate if you are not, if you are a tourist. I think even it's impossible. I'm not sure, because I don't know everybody who gets the digital certificate being a tourist. I don't want to say that's impossible, but I think it's impossible. Yesterday, the EU named 40 safe countries whose citizens can enter Europe. My country isn't in that safe list. What will happen if I can enter the EU and attend the school? So Viviana will answer you,
yes.
But she will answer.
Yes, that's for me. I mean, Daniel, we'll go case by case. Of course, now we are the 30th of June. The program starts in October. We are giving you different options. Where are you coming from, Daniel? What's your country? Can you please write it down somewhere? I can look for you in our
Mexico.
Daniel, okay, yes, I saw it. I mean, I think the borders will open, I mean, gradually, okay? And we just need to wait and not to get nervous, because if the borders were open for Mexico, I don't know if you were thinking about traveling in June, or July. So let's wait, and if your country, you cannot enter the EU to attend the school, we'll find the option. You know, we can do the first trimester online, you can join the January intake. So we have different possibilities and different options for the different situations that you can find in your countries of origin. Imagine that we have students coming from more than 50 different countries. So we're open to give you options, okay? So, but that will be one by one cases. ¿De acuerdo, Daniel? Pero no estés nervioso, aún hay tiempo y vamos mirando poco a poco.
Okay. So Amira says again, how do we apply? We ask for a cita previa. I think I already explained it. You need a digital certificate to apply for the student permit, and the cita previa is for the card. It's later. Once you have the permit granted, you ask for that. You said cita previa. It's the usual way we say to get the appointment to go to the police station to apply for the card. And about the digital certificate you need to apply, as I said, I think it's not possible to get it as a tourist, so you will need to hire someone or us or another lawyer to do it on your behalf. If you enter as a tourist and travel in Spain while you apply for your visa, you may not have an address in Barcelona when you need to apply for the car. Is that an issue? Can you obtain the visa and then wait until you are settled in Barcelona to get the car? Well, to get the car, to apply for the car, we need more than 6 months left in the moment we apply for it. So if the course ends in November and you want to apply for the car in March, it won't be possible. If we are talking that you enter in September, we have the permit granted in November, and you wait until December to go for the car, it's okay. If you don't have if you want to go to class, I suppose you already will be living here in Barcelona and you will have an address. If it's not a rental contract under your name, the person where you have the room can allow you to register to do the empadronamiento in that apartment, even if it's not under your name. If you apply when traveling, can you apply anywhere in Spain or does it have to be in Barcelona? We need to do the application to the office here in Barcelona because it's where you are going to study. But if you are traveling, and as we do it telematically, it doesn't matter if you are not in Barcelona. Once you have the entry stamp in Spain, we can start the procedure. And the point is, if you want to do it yourself, you need that digital certificate, and it's not possible. But if we do it, it doesn't matter if you are not in Barcelona in that moment. I will arrive first to Madrid. I could make the process there since the university is in Barcelona. Again, it's the same. If you arrive to Madrid, and if you can go there to a register, imagine in that moment there's a register, a public register who allows you to go in person and give them the documents without digital certificate. If that happens and you go to Madrid, you need to say that your application is to be sent to Barcelona. So you apply in a register, but sending the documents to Barcelona. Or if we apply telematically, we can apply from anywhere because we send the documents to the office in Barcelona. The economic resources. I have to save a deposit in the Spanish account for several months, or I can withdraw soon. Once you have the permit granted, you can withdraw the money. We only need to prove you have this money to get the permit. And to renew it, we will need again. But it's not a deposit, it's an account with your cents. It's not, you can use it. You can use it without any problem. And last one, thank you so much. It's a very informative and useful session. Thank you to you. It's grateful if it's great if you consider that is useful because that's the idea. I'm not, as you see, a usual lawyer who speaks a different language. I want you to understand all the terms and all you need. And here you have my email in the presentation. We will also send you the details. You can contact me. If it's a fast question, I can answer you without any problem. If you want to analyze your special situation and start even talking about how to enter in Spain, how to prepare the tourist entry, or how to prepare the documents for the future, we can send you all the details, a formal budget and everything, and we can start with this. There's one more question, sorry. Andres, in Uruguay, the consulate communicates that they will wait until the last moment to deliver the study visa for fear of further confinement. Is there a way to request it before, since my idea is to be able to go a month before first week? About the consulates, I cannot tell you anything. I can't tell you anything. I don't know. I don't know what they will do, but if you want, you can enter as a tourist, and we do it from here. You don't need to wait until the last moment. Or you can wait until the last moment to see if they give you the student visa, and if they don't do it, then you enter as a tourist, and we do it here.
Yes, I think that Maria Eugenia is right when she says that. I mean, the idea of this session was giving you the option of not having to go through the student visa procedure in your countries when you are in a confinement and the Spanish consulate is not open. Okay, as well, when you go through a student visa process in your country, you need to leave your passport for a longer period. So you might not get on time to Barcelona in October if you leave your passport mid-September. Okay, so if you don't want to take risks, if you can come to Spain with a tourist visa, we think that might be the best option or the best solution. Okay, but we want to provide you with all the information that we think is useful for you. Now you need to make decisions and need to prepare your landing in Barcelona. Okay. I really want to thank Maria Eugenia for the session. She's an expert. I mean, she knows what she talks about. She's been dealing with the students for many years already. She knows we are a serious business school, that our students are very capable and serious students to go through processes, and that she's someone that is eager to help you, okay? But as I said, we can help you when things are easy to solve or can be solved. We cannot help when magic has to happen, okay? So you take your time, we'll send you the recording, and thank you very much, Maria Eugenia, again, and AGM Abogados. There's someone behind the screen that is called Vivian. I want to thank her as well, because she's been helping us a lot and supporting and the administrative side. So thank you very much, Vivian. And yeah, I mean, we'll see again soon. We'll provide you with another webinar with interesting content in the future, okay? Okay, so thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Good morning, good night, and good evening to everyone, okay? We have people from every round. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, bye.